Welcome to Quora Anonymous. If this is your first time and you like the video, please like and subscribe. If you would like to read along, turn on closed captioning with the 3 dots in the upper right corner. Now, let's begin. What is the most cringe-worthy behavior practiced on the internet? Begging. Begging is very prevalent in the real world. From your little cousin demanding begging you for more candy corn, to the homeless person walking alongside you champing that everything helps, you can't get away from begging anywhere you go. It is a natural human instinct when we want something, and I understand that, but can we talk about the way people on the internet beg for things? You might remember the Instagram couple from a few months or so ago that insisted that their Instagram followers fund their trip to Africa. I won't go into detail, but essentially they published a post to Instagram asking their 40,000 followers to fund their trip to Africa. This is what one of the two had to say: "Some will just tell us to get jobs, like everyone else, and stop begging. But when you have the impact we do on others' life, getting a job is not an option." Okay, so at least they are admitting that they are begging, but that doesn't make it right to beg for money to fund a trip to Africa. I've seen many other influencers do it, ask for people to donate to their GoFundMes, which are for something that they don't actually need, such as another trip or a house. Yes, a house. On top of this woman's to others. It also happens on Quora. I sometimes read a great answer, an answer so good that I go to that person's profile. I read a few more of their answers and notice the same pattern. In every single answer they are begging at the bottom for upvotes, followers, shares, etc. Quit it. Do you realize the effect those numbers and stats have on you in real life? Exactly zero. Begging to an almost senseless point is a major turnoff. You're almost guaranteed to get more of what you're asking for if you don't fucking beg. Knock off the senseless begging. Chances are, what you're begging for you don't actually need. This social hierarchy that seems to be overtaking Quora is embarrassing. I'm going to say it because nobody else will. It needs to stop. The resemblance to high school is uncanny. A bunch of popular Quorans behaving like they run the place, and anyone below them must swear their allegiance and oath of loyalty. To teens and adults alike, please stop. I don't care how many followers you have. Whether it be 1 or 1,000, to me what matters is your writing, originality and personality. Nobody should follow blindly. Nobody should feel like, in order to fit in, they must create a mask to hide their true identity. Nobody should be worshipping Quorans, licking their backside, or acting like a cult. And certainly, no popular Quoran should be putting others down, or acting like they have a fan base. Acting like gods to the point where their followers become submissive. Reality check: you're average just like the rest of us, and being arrogant makes you unapproachable. My advice? Be careful of spiraling into the depths of fame, pride, and ego. There's a world out there waiting for you, and one day you'll realize that the numbers you see on a screen mean nothing. What is the most cringe-worthy behavior practiced on the internet? Begging. Begging is very prevalent in the real world. From your little cousin demanding begging you for more candy corn, to the homeless person walking alongside you champing that everything helps, you can't get away from begging anywhere you go. It is a natural human instinct when we want something, and I understand that, but can we talk about the way people on the internet beg for things? You might remember the Instagram couple from a few months or so ago that insisted that their Instagram followers fund their trip to Africa. I won't go into detail, but essentially they published a post to Instagram asking their 40,000 followers to fund their trip to Africa. This is what one of the two had to say: "Some will just tell us to get jobs, like everyone else, and stop begging. But when you have the impact we do on others' life, getting a job is not an option." Okay, so at least they are admitting that they are begging, but that doesn't make it right to beg for money to fund a trip to Africa. I've seen many other influencers do it, ask for people to donate to their GoFundMes, which are for something that they don't actually need, such as another trip or a house. Yes, a house. On top of this woman's to others. It also happens on Quora. I sometimes read a great answer, an answer so good that I go to that person's profile. I read a few more of their answers and notice the same pattern. In every single answer they are begging at the bottom for upvotes, followers, shares, etc. Quit it. Do you realize the effect those numbers and stats have on you in real life? Exactly zero. Begging to an almost senseless point is a major turnoff. You're almost guaranteed to get more of what you're asking for if you don't fucking beg. Knock off the senseless begging. Chances are, what you're begging for you don't actually need. All the dumb, and too often dangerous, things that people do for attention, that is, likes, upvotes, internet fame. A study published in the Journal of Family Medicine and Primary Care found that at least 259 people died while taking dangerous selfies for social media between 2011 and 2017. Most researchers agree, however, that the number is probably much higher. In case you've been too busy engaging in some of this behavior yourself to have noticed the inundation of news stories, let me catch you up to date on 10 notable examples. I've intentionally chosen not to name these people. Each example has a link for anyone seeking more information. A married couple who had gained a large social media following for their risky photos fell 800 feet to their death while taking a selfie on a cliff. A Ukrainian woman decided to pose for a selfie with a lion at a safari park. She was allowed into his enclosure for the photo, where she touched the lion and the lion mauled her. An American man and his girlfriend decided to try a stunt that would surely make them YouTube famous. She fired a gun at him while he was holding a thick book against his chest. The thinking was that the 1.5-inch book would stop the bullet. It didn't. He died. She went to prison. A man from China became a social media star for his roof-topping stupid stunts involving dangling dangerously from skyscrapers. He survived all of his death-defying attempts until death caught up with him. He fell to his death while doing chin-ups off of a 62-story high-rise. A famous YouTube personality, who had 15 million subscribers at the time, went into Japan's suicide forest to film a YouTube video. He was wearing a comical Toy Story alien hat and filmed a dead body hanging from a tree. His disrespect for the seriousness of the topic or the human lives lost there were appalling and done only for views and internet attention. A man in India tried to take a selfie with an injured bear, despite his friends warning him that it wasn't a great idea. The bear mauled him to death. A group of people in Argentina pulled several dolphins from the ocean and passed them around as photos were snapped for Instagram. Only, these were no ordinary dolphins. They were a rare species of Franciscana dolphin. There are estimated to be fewer than 30,000 Franciscana dolphins in the entire world, and these people killed at least one in an effort to impress Instagram. A Taiwanese hiker, model and social media star became internet famous for posting pictures of herself in bikinis atop impossibly beautiful mountain terrain. Until she fell into a 100-foot deep ravine during one of her solo photo shoots. She tried to use a satellite phone to call for help, but by the time help arrived, it was too late. An American woman crossed a barrier at an Arizona zoo to get a close-up selfie with a jaguar. The jaguar mauled her. She survived with just a few gashes, and later offered an embarrassed apology for her stupidity. At least 50 people were poisoned in America after attempting the viral Tide Pod challenge for YouTube views. This stupid stunt is exactly what you might think it is. Young PR pleating Tide Pods for internet fame bonus. Numerous American teen/young adults have been hospitalized with life-threatening burns after attempting the fire challenge. This is exactly as stupid as the Tide Pod challenge above. Actually, I take that back. This one is even dumber. You cover yourself in flammable liquids and then set yourself on fire. Clearly, this is a good idea. Orlando teen nearly burned to death attempting YouTube fire challenge. Detroit girl hospitalized after fire challenge goes horribly wrong. There is a lot of disturbing behavior on the internet. But I'd say that willingly risking your life for likes and social media attention has got to be the worst. I understand that we evolved to be hypersocial creatures, but the social acceptance that once protected us is now threatening to destroy us. Still don't believe me? I saved the most damning example for last because it deserved more attention than being just another bullet point in a list. Depression and suicide rates are rising sharply in young Americans, new report says. Suicide rates for US teens and young adults are the highest on record. Social media and our addiction to internet popularity is killing us, but more importantly, we are now allowing this insidious cancer to take our children's lives as well. I'd say that classifies as pretty damn cringeworthy. Non-arguments, gaslighting, insulting, belittling, basically all the shit that isn't a real argument, it's just like a attack on you yourself, a straw man. People simply restating the same shit over and over and over again. They don't really do anything to advance the conversation. It's basically just him right and there's nothing you can do about it. But the way they go about executing that kind of mind set is the worst part, where everything's toxic, bad, everyone who doesn't agree with them is dumb, a kid. There's just so many versions of non-arguments which sound like arguments, but they aren't really arguments. Like, it's easy to make shit sound good without it actually being good, and everyone thinks they're not one of those people. This to me is the worst behavior practiced online. Or where they aim at something not even related to the other people. Well, I don't like a person who, yeah bitch, no one cares. Why is it so hard for them to just stay focused? My god. ASMR. Oh my god. It drives me nuts. If you have yet to hear of it, it's a trend on YouTube where people make videos of relaxing sounds, where you supposedly listen to them and relax, feeling shivers run through your spine. So people whisper in microphones, record sounds of plastic bags against the microphone, record the sound of their pets eating, etc. As you can see, people got really creative with it. Okay, I get that many people enjoy it. There is a reason for its popularity. For me, it's no different from a fly flying next to my ear. It annoys me to no end. But to each their own, I guess. Bullying, regardless of the issue. It is prevalent in society, on the internet and in person. It is worse now than before the internet, and became worse since the end of 2015. Someone ripped the bandage off of civility, and others jumped on the incivility bandwagon. In a few cases, people have been charged in the death of others with whom they were friends online. If a person is constantly putting down either a specific person or a group of people, they are a bully. There are also predators. If someone is bothering you online, block and report them. You don't have to put up with it, and shouldn't become a bully either. Contact one of the anti-bullying websites if you need help. If you are still a student in school, find a counselor or another responsible adult to speak to. In addition, be careful about the people you friend and the information you provide about yourself. Just using this one person as an example point, I'd say anyone who acts like this online is cringeworthy. Back in the days when Yahoo chat rooms existed, I remember encountering someone by the name of Kensley Doozen. I don't recall the exact details, except that this person seemed to be really lonely / desperate / horny, and was looking to meet up for casual sex. For some reason, Kensley picked me to chat with. First he told me he was 19, then changed it to 17, then said he was really 15. So I had no idea how old he actually was, but told him I wasn't interested in casual sex, and even if I had been, I wasn't into meeting up with underage guys. Kensley would not let it go, and kept begging me to meet him. So I ended up blocking Kensley. People who demand others get fired from their jobs for tweeting things that offend them. People who harass them. Darksing. People who think they know everything about a situation after seeing a 2-second video. People who call up establishments thousands of miles from where they live to ruin the life of someone they'll probably never even meet. And then call again to follow up, and keep calling like a crazy ass. Get a life, people. Getting mad at people for using the word female instead of woman. Usually followed by keyboard warriors in all caps saying, "Oh my god, you incel, you called them females. It's women." making sexual comments, and asking to date me when I get on online chats, because holy shit a female is playing this game. Jumpscare/screamers in videos. It's not funny to put a screaming sound designed to scare the hell out of someone, it just makes you a dick. Masturbating in video chats. No one wants to see you touching your dick, dude. Just stop. The constant defending the undefendable while reciting chapter and verse of someone else's rhetoric that has been repeated time and time again. It is hard for me to not judge this type of behavior. I have mentioned that one of my tenets is to cease judging, and it is the hardest issue for me. It seems it is second nature for me to immediately start pulling apart whatever the statement is. I observe that it seems to be a human nature. If you made it this far, you owe it to yourself to subscribe.